First Contact's deception. Grand Admiral Vexthor of the Kracken Empire stood at the command center of the Eternal Dominion, his flagship's holographic displays showing the unremarkable blue planet before them. The third planet of this undistinguished star system had been marked as a potential conquest by the Empire's expansion protocol, primarily due to its abundant resources and seemingly primitive inhabitants. Status report. Vexthor commanded, his crystalline exoskeleton reflecting the soft blue light of the tactical displays. Preliminary scans complete, Admiral, reported First Officer Kazara, her tendrils weaving complex patterns in the air as she analyzed the incoming data. The species calls themselves humans. Their technological level appears to be at development stage 2.7. They've achieved limited space travel, but haven't expanded beyond their own satellite. Their most advanced weapons appear to be chemical propellants and crude nuclear devices. Vexthor's facial crystals shifted in what his species considered a smile. Another easy conquest for the glory of the Empire. The Kracken had subjugated 17 systems in the past solar cycle alone, each victory further cementing their reputation as the galaxy's predominant military force. Their orbital defenses, he inquired, already planning the invasion sequence in his mind. Minimal, sir. A few hundred primitive satellites, mostly for communication and weather monitoring. A small space station with a rotating crew of their scientists. Nothing that could pose any threat to our fleet. But something about the situation made Vexthor's secondary nervous system pulse with unease. In his 3 centuries of military service, he'd learned to trust these instincts. "Show me their global communication networks," he ordered. The holographic display shifted, showing a complex web of digital information flowing across the planet's surface. Kizera manipulated the controls, bringing up samples of human entertainment, news, and scientific discourse. Their public networks showed typical Stage 2 development patterns, she reported. They spend much of their time arguing about primitive political systems and sharing images of small animals they keep as companions. Vexthor studied the data carefully. Everything appeared exactly as expected for a pre-galactic civilization, and that's what bothered him. In his experience, developing species always showed some anomalies, some hint of their potential future direction. The humans appeared almost too perfectly placed in their developmental stage. "Launch deep scan probes," he ordered. "I want to know everything about their military capabilities, power generation systems, and technological research centers." The probes deployed silently, their quantum sensors designed to penetrate any known shielding technology. Hours passed as they gathered data, building a comprehensive picture of human civilization. "Sir," Kizera's voice carried a note of confusion. "The probe data matches our initial scans exactly. There's not a single discrepancy." "Too perfect," Vexthor muttered. In 3 centuries of conquest, he'd never seen such consistent scan results. Every civilization had its secrets, its hidden facilities, its classified research. The humans appeared to have none. "Launch the Sentinel drones," he commanded. These autonomous units would provide close-range surveillance of key military installations. As they approached Earth's atmosphere, something unexpected happened. One of the drones simply vanished. "Malfunction," Vexthor demanded. "Negative, sir. All systems were functioning normally until the moment of disappearance. No debris detected. No energy signature. It's as if it ceased to exist." Before Vexthor could respond, a second drone vanished. Then a third. Within moments, all 12 Sentinel drones had disappeared without a trace. The command center fell silent as the implications sank in. Either the humans possessed technology far beyond their apparent level, or something else was at work here. Something that violated the laws of physics as the Kracken understood them. "Sir," Kizera's voice was barely a whisper. "We're receiving a transmission. From Earth." The holoscreen activated, showing a human female wearing what appeared to be formal diplomatic attire. She smiled, and Vexthor felt his crystalline structure vibrate with apprehension. "Greetings, Grand Admiral Vexthor of the Kracken Empire," she said in perfect Kracken language. "I am Director Helena Chen of Earth's Stellar Defense Initiative. We've been expecting you." The Silent Watchers. Director Helena Chen sat in her underground command center, 3 kilometers beneath the Rocky Mountains, watching the Kracken fleet's every move on the quantum imaging display. Around her, dozens of operators monitored various systems, their augmented reality interfaces glowing softly in the dimly lit room. "They took the bait," her second-in-command, Colonel Marcus Rodriguez, observed. "The Sentinel drones hit exactly where we predicted." Helena nodded, her fingers dancing across the holographic controls as she reviewed the data. For over 2 centuries, humanity had maintained its elaborate deception, while the rest of the galaxy saw Earth as a backwater world still grappling with primitive technology. The reality couldn't have been more different. "How many observation posts do we have active in Kracken space now?" she asked. Marcus pulled up a new display. 73 quantum-cloaked stations monitoring their major systems. "We've been watching them develop their empire for the past 8 decades. Their expansion was predictable. It was only a matter of time before they found us." The truth was, Earth had detected its first alien civilization nearly 300 years ago. Instead of announcing their presence to the galaxy, humanity's leaders had made a crucial decision: to watch, learn, and prepare. They developed their technology in secret, hiding their true capabilities behind a carefully constructed facade of primitive satellites and outdated weapons. The quantum phase technology that had just eliminated the Kracken Sentinel drones was just the tip of the iceberg. Earth's true defensive capabilities would have seemed like magic to most galactic civilizations. "Status of the Aegis network," Helena inquired, referring to Earth's primary defensive system. "All nodes operational," Marcus confirmed. "Phase shields are at full capacity, and the countermeasure platforms are in position. We can neutralize their entire fleet without revealing our orbital defenses." Helena studied the Kracken flagship on her display. Grand Admiral Vexthor's reputation preceded him. He was considered one of the Empire's most skilled tacticians. The fact that he'd sensed something amiss with Earth's too-perfect appearance proved his competence. "What about our allies?" she asked. Marcus brought up another display showing dozens of supposedly primitive worlds scattered throughout the galaxy. Like Earth, these civilizations had chosen to hide their true capabilities, forming a hidden network of advanced societies that worked together to maintain the illusion of technological backwardness. "New Terra on Proxima is standing by," he reported. "The Centaurian fleet is cloaked and ready if we need backup. The Sirius Defense League has also pledged support, though I doubt we'll need it." Helena allowed herself a small smile. The Kracken Empire, for all its apparent might, had no idea it was about to face not just Earth, but a coalition of worlds that had spent centuries preparing for this moment. "Signal the Artemis platforms," she ordered. "Let's show them our first card." Throughout Earth's orbit, invisible quantum satellites began powering up. These platforms contained technology that could disable any known form of faster-than-light travel, effectively trapping the Kracken fleet in normal space. "Platforms active," Marcus confirmed. "Their quantum wake drive signatures are already destabilizing. They'll lose FTL capability in approximately 3 minutes. Helena opened a channel to speak with Vexthor again. The Grand Admiral's crystalline features showed obvious concern now. He knew something was very wrong, but couldn't yet grasp the magnitude of his situation. "I apologize for the deception, Admiral," Helena said, her tone diplomatic but firm. "But we needed to understand your intentions. Your Empire's pattern of conquest left us little choice but to test your approach." "What are you?" Vexthor demanded, his crystalline structure pulsing with agitation. "What manner of technology could possibly—" "We are humanity," Helena interrupted calmly. "And we are not alone. Your Empire's expansion ends here, Admiral. The only question is whether it ends in peace or something less pleasant." As if to emphasize her point, The quantum wake drives of every ship in the Kracken fleet simultaneously failed. They were now stranded in Earth's solar system, their most advanced technology rendered useless by forces they couldn't even detect. Your species, Vexthor's voice carried a mix of awe and fear. You've been watching us all along, haven't you? Those trading outposts in our systems, the primitive colonies we ignored. Helena nodded. We've had quantum-cloaked observation posts in your territory for decades. Every conquest, every technological advancement, every strategic decision. We saw it all. We had to be certain of your intentions. The Grand Admiral's crystalline form seemed to dim slightly as the full implications hit him. His empire's mighty fleet, which had conquered 17 systems in the past cycle alone, was now helpless before a world they'd dismissed as primitive. What happens now? He asked quietly. Helena's expression softened slightly. That, Admiral, depends entirely on you. We're not interested in conquest or domination. Earth and its allies seek something far more valuable, peaceful coexistence. But first, you need to understand exactly what you're dealing with. She nodded to Marcus, who activated another set of controls. Around the Kracken fleet, space itself seemed to shimmer as dozens of advanced Earth vessels dropped their quantum camouflage, revealing themselves for the first time. The game of deception was over. Now came the hard part, convincing an empire built on conquest that there was a better way forward. Operation Checkmate. Grand Admiral Vexthor's command center had fallen silent. The holographic displays showed what should have been impossible. Dozens of advanced Earth vessels, their designs unlike anything the Kracken had ever encountered. But more disturbing than their sudden appearance was the realization that they had been there all along, completely invisible to the Empire's most sophisticated sensors. Your ships, Kizara whispered, her tendrils writhing in agitation. They're not using any known form of stealth technology. Our quantum arrays should have detected even the smallest energy signatures. Because we don't use energy signatures, Helena's voice came through their comm system, still calm and measured. Quantum phase technology operates on principles your scientists haven't discovered yet. We exist slightly out of phase with normal spacetime until we choose to fully materialize. Vexthor's tactical mind raced through the implications. If Earth possessed this level of technology, what other capabilities had they hidden? And more importantly, how many other supposedly primitive worlds were watching his empire, waiting and preparing? You mentioned allies, he said carefully. Other worlds that maintain this deception. Helena's image nodded. The galaxy is full of surprises. Admiral, that trading post your ships refueled at last cycle, the one staffed by those simple merchants from Proxima, they were monitoring your fleet's capabilities. The primitive mining colony in the Sirius system. They've mapped every significant military installation in your empire. As she spoke, more ships began appearing, different designs, clearly from other civilizations. The Kracken fleet was now surrounded by a force that dwarfed their own, using technology they couldn't even comprehend. Sir, Kizara's voice shook slightly. I'm detecting energy readings from the Earth vessels. They're unlike anything in our database. If these readings are accurate, a single one of their ships could destroy our entire fleet. Vexthor finished grimly. That's what you've been trying to tell us, isn't it, Director Chen? This isn't a negotiation. It's a demonstration. On the contrary, Admiral, Helena replied, if we wanted your fleet destroyed, it would have happened the moment you entered our system. This is something far more important. An opportunity. She gestured, and a new holographic display appeared, showing various worlds throughout the galaxy. Vexthor recognized many of them. Systems his empire had dismissed as too primitive to be worth conquering. Each of these worlds has achieved technological advancement far beyond what they show to the galaxy. Helena explained, we call ourselves the Stellar Concordat, worlds that chose cooperation and mutual defense over conquest and domination. We've watched your empire expand, waiting to see if you would eventually grow beyond your need for conquest. Vexthor's crystalline structure pulsed with a mix of emotions: shame, anger, fear, and oddly, a growing sense of respect. You've been testing us all along. Every empire reaches this moment, Admiral, Helena said softly. The moment they discover that their perceived superiority was an illusion. Some respond with violence, forcing us to defend ourselves. Others see an opportunity to evolve. As if to emphasize her point, more ships continued to appear, vessels from dozens of worlds the Kracken had encountered and dismissed. Each one represented a civilization that had fooled his empire completely, hiding their true nature behind a carefully maintained facade of primitive technology. Your empire stands at a crossroads, Helena continued. You can choose to attack, in which case you'll learn firsthand why no force has ever successfully threatened Earth or its allies. Or you can choose to join us. Join you. Kizera interrupted. Become part of your Concordat. Join you. Kizera interrupted. Become part of your Concordat. We offer knowledge, Admiral, Helena said. Technology beyond your current understanding. Medical advances that could revolutionize your society. Clean energy that would end your need for resource conquest. But most importantly, we offer perspective. Vexthor stood silent for a long moment, his tactical mind analyzing every aspect of the situation. His empire had conquered 17 systems in the past cycle, yet here was a force that could have stopped them at any time, choosing instead to watch and wait. And if we refuse? He asked finally. Helena's expression remained neutral. Then you'll find your empire's expansion mysteriously blocked at every turn. Your ships will experience inexplicable failures. Your conquered worlds will suddenly develop surprising resistances. We've had centuries to prepare for this moment, Admiral. The age of conquest is ending, one way or another. The Great Revelation. The news spread through the galaxy like a quantum shockwave. The mighty Kracken Empire, conquerors of 17 systems in a single cycle, had not only halted their expansion, but had publicly announced their intention to join something called the Stellar Concordat. The reaction across known space was immediate and dramatic. In the aftermath of the Earth confrontation, Grand Admiral Vexthor stood before the Kracken High Council, his crystalline form radiating with an inner light that reflected his transformed perspective. The council chamber, hewn from living crystal deep within their homeworld's crust, hummed with tension. You expect us to believe, High Counselor Mexra's voice rang through the chamber, that primitive Earth not only defeated our fleet, but leads a coalition of advanced worlds that have been hiding in plain sight. I expect you to understand, Vexthor replied calmly, that everything we thought we knew about galactic civilization was deliberately crafted to test our species' true nature. The holographic displays activated, showing the Earth vessels and their allies emerging from quantum phase. The council chamber fell silent as they witnessed the technological gap between their mighty empire and the hidden powers that had been watching them all along. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, other supposedly primitive worlds began revealing their true capabilities. The simple agrarian society in the Centauri system suddenly demonstrated matter replication technology that made resource wars obsolete. The primitive mining colonies in the Sirius sector unveiled clean energy systems that could power entire planets indefinitely. Helena Chen, now operating from Earth's primary diplomatic center in Geneva, worked tirelessly to manage the cascade of revelations. Her quantum communications array was flooded with messages from worlds seeking to join the Concordat, each one realizing that the age of military conquest was effectively over. Another delegation has arrived, Colonel Rodriguez reported, reviewing the latest data. The Arcturus hegemony. They're concerned about the implications of our technology. Helena smiled slightly. The Arcturus hegemony had been another expanding power, following a path similar to the Kracken Empire. Let me guess, they want to discuss peaceful cooperation. They're practically begging for it, Rodriguez confirmed. Our quantum phase demonstration with the Kracken fleet has them convinced that resistance would be futile. But there's something else, Reports coming in from the outer rim. It seems we weren't the only ones playing this game. The holographic display shifted to show new data from deep space monitoring stations. Other advanced civilizations, ones that even Earth hadn't detected, were beginning to reveal themselves. The galaxy was far more complex and interconnected than anyone had imagined. Back in the Kracken Council chamber, Vexthor was concluding his presentation. "The choice before us is simple," he declared. "We can cling to our outdated notions of conquest and supremacy, or we can join a galactic community that has already achieved technological and social advancement beyond our current understanding." "And what of our empire's glory?" another counselor demanded. "What of our destiny to rule the stars?" "Our true destiny," Vexthor replied, his crystalline form pulsing with conviction, "lies in evolution, not conquest. The humans and their allies could have destroyed us at any time. Instead, they waited, watched, and offered us a chance to grow beyond our limitations." The council chamber erupted in debate, but the outcome was already certain. The revelation of Earth's true capabilities, combined with the emerging picture of a galaxy filled with hidden advanced civilizations, had shattered the old paradigms of power and conquest. In her Geneva office, Helena received the quantum-encrypted message she'd been waiting for. The Kracken High Council had voted overwhelmingly to accept membership in the Stellar Concordat. Their vast military fleet would be transformed into an exploration and peacekeeping force, their technology gradually upgraded as they demonstrated their commitment to peaceful cooperation. "It's happening faster than we predicted," Rodriguez observed, reviewing the latest data from across the galaxy. "The revelation of our true capabilities is causing a cascade effect. Every major power is reassessing their position in light of the new reality." Helena nodded, her attention drawn to a new alert from the quantum monitoring network. "And we're about to discover that we're not the only ones who've been hiding. The galaxy is about to become a much more interesting place. Dawn of a new era." 1 year after the Kracken incident, the Great Hall of Harmony on Earth's lunar surface hosted the first official gathering of the fully revealed Stellar Concordat. The massive chamber, built within a quantum-phased dome that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions at once, hummed with the energy of countless advanced civilizations coming together. Helena Chen stood at the central podium, surveying the assembled delegates. Crystalline Kraxens sat beside their former adversaries, their structures glowing with new understanding. Representatives from worlds that had hidden their true nature for centuries now displayed their advanced technology openly, and in the shadows of the hall, observers from newly discovered civilizations watched with keen interest. "A year ago," Helena began, her voice carrying clearly through the quantum-enhanced acoustics, "we stood at a crossroads. The age of deception, necessary as it was, had reached its end. Today we begin something unprecedented. An era of true cooperation and shared advancement." The holographic displays activated, showing the transformation that had swept through known space. The Kracken Empire, once bent on conquest, had become a leader in peaceful exploration. Their crystalline technology, combined with Earth's quantum-phased principles, had yielded discoveries that benefited all worlds. Grand Admiral, now Peace Commissioner, Vexthor rose to speak, his crystalline form radiating with multiple colors that reflected his complex emotions. "My people once measured greatness by the worlds we could conquer," he declared. "Now we measure it by the worlds we can help elevate. The humans didn't just show us superior technology. They showed us a superior way of thinking." But the gathering wasn't purely celebratory. Colonel Rodriguez, now Director of Concordat Security, had detected disturbing patterns in the outer reaches of known space. "We're not alone in our advancement," he reported to the assembly. "Other forces have been watching, waiting, perhaps testing us just as we tested others. The galaxy is deeper and more complex than even we imagined." The evidence was mounting. Beyond the regions of known space, quantum sensors had detected civilizations operating on technological principles that dwarfed even Earth's advanced capabilities. The Stellar Concordat's revelation had triggered a cascade of unveilings, each more astonishing than the last. We stand at the beginning, not the end. Helena continued. Our deception served its purpose. It allowed us to identify and guide civilizations ready to advance beyond conquest. But now we face a greater challenge, proving ourselves worthy of the true galactic community. As if to emphasize her point, the quantum sensors suddenly registered a massive disturbance at the edge of the solar system. A vessel appeared, unlike anything ever encountered. Its design suggested technology so advanced it bordered on the supernatural. The Great Hall fell silent as a message was received, transmitted simultaneously in all known languages. You have passed the first test. Welcome to the greater galaxy. Helena exchanged glances with Vexthor and the other leaders. They had thought themselves clever, hiding their advancement and testing other worlds. Now they realized they had been part of a much larger experiment. Perhaps, Vexthor mused, his crystalline form pulsing thoughtfully. This was the true purpose of our journey. Not to learn how to hide our strength, but to learn when to reveal it. Not to perfect our deception, but to recognize when honesty becomes the greater power. Helena nodded, a slight smile playing at her lips. The game of shadows served its purpose. Now we play on a larger board, with higher stakes and greater rewards. The question is no longer whether we can fool others, but whether we can forge genuine connections across the stars. The assembled delegates watched as more vessels appeared, each representing civilizations that had advanced far beyond the need for physical form. The galaxy was revealing itself to be an intricate tapestry of overlapping societies, each operating at different levels of technological and social development. We thought ourselves the watchers, Helena concluded, only to discover we were also being watched. We thought ourselves the testers, only to learn we were being tested. But most importantly, we learned that true power lies not in our ability to destroy or deceive, but in our capacity to grow, to change, and to reach beyond our limitations. As the new visitors began sharing their knowledge, the gathered representatives of the stellar Concordat realized that their great revelation had been just the beginning. The age of deception was over, but the age of discovery was just beginning. In the end, humanity's greatest achievement wasn't in developing quantum phase technology or in maintaining centuries of deception. It was in recognizing that sometimes the greatest strength lies in knowing when to lay down your shields and reach out with open hands. The galaxy, it seemed, had been waiting for exactly that lesson.